experience with the Academic Minute and join us as we discover cutting-edge research from colleges and universities around the world. Tune in to broaden your understanding of the past and be the first to learn how today's innovations will transform our tomorrow. From the latest breakthrough in green technology to the discovery of humanity's oldest tools, you'll find it all on the Academic Minute.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30.
Hi, I'm Brett Barry, the host of Soundbeat. Every episode features a recording from Belfer Audio Archive, one of the largest sound archives in the country. We add in a related storyline, whether it be about the performers, the songs, or something else entirely. From vaudeville to vinyl, you'll hear it all on Soundbeat. Soundbeat is produced at the Belfer Audio Archive, Syracuse University Libraries.
Expand your knowledge with the Academic Minute. Each day, travel with us around the world to learn what professors are researching within their specialties and be the first in the know. Listen as we discover the newest green innovations, research the behavioral patterns of animals, and examine how the arts are being studied today. You'll find it all on the Academic Minute.
Listen every weekday afternoon during the KSJE Evening News at 5:30. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llanos Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. (8:27) KSJE, you're listening to the Scott Michlin Morning Program outside our studios here at San Juan College. It is a clear day so far today. We're expecting a partly sunny day today, as our weather forecast will show in just a moment. But right now, if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you're seeing a time-lapse of the sunrise from earlier today, as it is a clear morning out there at the moment. As I mentioned, right now, clear skies in Farmington, and the weather forecast is calling for a partly sunny day today. Right now, it's 25 degrees outside our studios here at San Juan College, and winds are out of the east at 7 miles per hour. The high today should be 52 with partly cloudy skies. Overnight low tonight 18. Sunshine and 54 tomorrow, but there is a chance of a rain or snow mix on Thursday, Thanksgiving, with a high of 51 and a low of 28. Sunshine and 49 on Black Friday, and it will be 46 with a chance again of rain or snow showers on Saturday. Small Business Saturday with a high of 46 degrees and a low of 19. I'm Scott Michlin. My guest on the radio this morning from the Aztec School District, Superintendent Kirk Carpenter, is here with me. Again, Mr. Carpenter, thanks for being here.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
You bet. It's good to have you here on a vacation day for you because the Aztec schools are closed for the week. Get the whole week off.
Yeah, well, we're closed. In 12 months, we do just 2 days, so I can take the day, but I'm actually going to sneak in a little bit. These are nice days to get in, and usually you have control of what you want to do. But
phone's not always ringing, so maybe you can get a few things done.
Yeah.
Scratched off your list, so good. Well, thank you for being here. We always appreciate our visits every month and the commitment that you make to be here every month, so thank you for doing that. Do want to ask you a little bit about the election, since that has been completed since we last visited. There's a governor-elect. We knew there was going to be a new governor. We just didn't know who it was going to be. Now we do, and Michelle Lujan Grisham has come forward with, I think, a lot of potential changes for the way public education is handled here in New Mexico, and I imagine you're watching very carefully and work very closely as to what the new governor-elect is proposing.
Yeah, we are, and we're optimistic and actually hopeful that we'll be able to have a sit-down. In fact, I've been in contact with Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales. He's been a senator for a long time in our state. He's a former educator, a former coach. In fact, that's every time I talk to him, he calls me Coach. We have a good relationship. And in fact, at one of the conferences here in the summer, the NIMSL conference, which is a big educator conference, he kind of poked a little fun Stan Rounds, and then myself. He had my face. I'm a little animated baseball player, and Mr. Baseball he calls me, because we go back when he was addressing the crowd there on behalf of the governor, because the governor wasn't able to make it. So there's a relationship there, and I've even had some recent conversations with him about the potential of the governor coming and speaking to superintendents, and maybe having a smaller conversation with the executive council of the Superintendents Association about some of the potential changes, because I think it's important that we do have that conversation and understand what specifically does it mean in her mind to transform education. She has a lot of thoughts. I think we have some ideas, and I think it's important that we have those initial conversations.
And we just talked in the first segment a little bit about kind of the long-range approach that you need to take when you are taking a school district and transforming it, or trying to achieve better results, whether it's student assessments or grades or academic achievement or whatever it is. And so to make some changes, I imagine there's a lot of superintendents that look upon that possibility with trepidation, because you're already working on this path, and then all of a sudden a new governor comes in with a new public education department and secretary that says, well, let's now change direction and go this way. And it might take a little time to turn the ship.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, Scott, is to have some collaboration. And I think that was missing in the last administration. I think what we had was a lot of things done to us and not for us. And we had a lot of opportunity, and it wasn't the case in everything. There were some changes that were made that I think were very good in the intention, and I'm not an expert. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I am.
But you served on several committees, I think, and task forces to try to talk about some reforms and things, and I think shared your opinion at every opportunity.
And I did, and you're correct. So I think it's just really listening intently and having the conversations with purpose, I think is the best way for me to put it out there, because I don't think that happened like it needed to. And I'm not saying that because things didn't go every way that even of ideas I had, but in the beginning we talked of an example about the evaluation system and about the percentages of how testing should weigh.
This is the teacher evaluation system that you're talking about that has been implemented.
Yes. And in the end, it ended up where we talked about where it should be. And it's frustrating that we would say, I hear that. That was the common mantra. But hearing and listening and having real intent conversations with what I consider are many of the experts in education around the state, those are different. Those are all different. And so I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that if transforming education in New Mexico is really what we need to do, then that should involve the experts in education. And I'm not throwing myself into that. I'm saying, then let's identify those people and let's look at the long range. We ask our teachers to do this, to plan backwards. If this is what you're going to assess on, develop the assessment and then plan backwards from that. And if that's what we need to do in education, and if you're the governor and you have a plan, you may not be an educator. Get the educators involved. Include the teachers. Include the principals. Include the counselors. Include the superintendents. Include everybody. Let's sit down and say, what's it look like? There are some things that are very good in education right now. The evaluation system is not bad. There's some things in there that are absolutely good. There's some things, in my opinion, and I think others that would say, let's tweak some things a little bit. And I think the teachers would tell you the same thing. But let's get the right people at the table, and let's have a discussion to say, what's it need to look like? And if we need to transform education, then let's have the discussion. And again, identify the right people. And let's do that together, including the administration. And I think we have the right people to do that with. Lieutenant Governor Harry Morales he's an educator. That's what he started as. And so I think he understands that. And so I think I am optimistic. And I think with either governor, we would have had that opportunity. And I think I am hopeful that as we move forward, that there will be some positive things done for education. But let me say this. There were some things that were positive. I don't want to just
not
say
8 years of negative.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. There were some absolutely things that were. But I think we had a lot more opportunity, and I want to be hopeful that as we find a new secretary, that we can have a lot more collaboration with that person, because the public education department and schools should be in unity. And the last 8 years we weren't. And that's wrong. That's wrong for education, and it's wrong for kids in New Mexico. And so as a new secretary is appointed by this administration, and I've expressed this to the lieutenant governor, that whatever they decide, my personal request is that find somebody that we can collaborate with. And that doesn't mean that we always agree.
Right.
In families, you don't always agree. You have crucial conversations. That's fine. But if we aren't collaborating as schools and the public education department, and if there are differences, understanding why there are differences, but we need to work together, and we need public education department working for schools and doing things for them, not to them. And that was my message. And I think that's going to be key if we're going to transform education in New Mexico. So you've given me the mic, and that's Kirk Carpenter, superintendent from Aztec, New Mexico, saying that's my 2 cents on this. And because there are a lot of great things and there are a lot of great people in this state, a lot of great educators, we need to pull the potential from them and make great things happen for our kids.
Sure. And for folks who are listening to us this morning or watching us this morning, Mr. Carpenter, who would say, here is an opportunity with a new governor. There probably will be a new education secretary. It's highly doubtful that the new governor would keep the old governor's appointee in that right. position. But maybe some things that folks who care about education in our state, and I think everybody does, but some maybe more than others, could be watching for. And I think who the new governor-elect decides to choose as her education secretary might be a telling thing. Is it another out-of-towner, another outsider coming in? Is it someone from New Mexico, maybe, who knows some of the challenges? We shall see. And I don't think we have any inkling yet of who that might be.
No, and I guess I have the mic. My 2 cents is it should be somebody from New Mexico. It should be somebody that understands the challenges of New Mexico education, rural education, as well as the Rio Grande corridor. It should be somebody who understands that we have kids that ride the bus for 2 hours one way, that walk out, and some of our kids go into places that have no electricity. The real issues,
right? Not
excuses, but the real issues. And somebody that is willing to not be a yes man or yes woman, but somebody that is willing to say, let's roll up our sleeves, that blue sky ideas. Here's what we want for our kids. And how do we get there? And no excuses, no hold barred, let's get there. But we understand there are real challenges. And we understand that education in New Mexico is going to look different in Aztec than it is in Albuquerque, Artesia than it is in Hobbs, whatever the case may be. But there's no exception that every kid's going to get the best education we can. Now, how do we get there? And let's sit down again with the people that understand education in New Mexico and find what the answers are. And that sounds easy, and it's not. It is not.
Sure.
The Secretary of Education position is a very difficult position. We've had some people that have been very successful at it. We've had some people that have not. But let's find out what has worked. And like I said, I can sit here and tell you this is a magic potion. It's not easy. But what I will tell you, what is easy, in my opinion, is to get people and collaborate with them and find out, and let's get some ideas of what will make things work. It's a difficult job, especially with the lawsuit. That's going to be another issue, is a sufficiency lawsuit.
That's the funding lawsuit,
Absolutely.
right? That the judge has said that the state needs to come up with a way to figure out how to spend more on public education, basically by, I think, April or March, sometime in the spring.
Yes, and so there's a lot of challenges facing a new administration, a new secretary. But in my opinion, what's not hard is to find ways to communicate.
Right.
If a secretary has to make a decision, if I have to make a decision, you may not like the answer, but you should never wonder why. And I think that's been missing. And if you have to do something that I don't like, at least understand why I have to make that decision. To me, that's not hard. And I think, again, that's what's been missing. So I think this is a great opportunity for a fresh start. And so that piece of it, to me, is easy. It is a key decision. And I think I've said it before. The governor, elect, either person, I think, had a great opportunity coming in. Key decision, obviously, that we're paying attention to is the secretary.
Sure.
And
right.
Get somebody that is willing to work with and do things for education. Simple words, but a big task. But we look forward to working with them and doing right things for the 300,000 kids that go through the doors of every educational institution in this state, because it seems simple, but those kids are our future. And we absolutely need to make some changes, and the right changes, and they're critical changes. And we do need to make some change and transformation for education. But what an opportunity. And to me, it's exciting to have that opportunity for our kids.
Sure. And like any new administration, there is that honeymoon period, I think, that there is a lot of, let's see how it goes, and a lot of hopefulness and things like that. And I think everyone would tell the new administration not to squander that opportunity, whether it's with the school superintendents, whether it's with the legislature, that there is this opportunity right now at the beginning of the term to maybe try to show some goodwill and try to get some things move forward with some thoughtful discussion and consideration.
Yep, and I think too at the same time you have to have that mindful urgency. You got to go slow to go fast.
Right.
But we have to have that purposeful urgency to get things rolling.
Very true.
Every day wasted is a missed opportunity. So, but I look forward to it, and I hope that in my time left as a superintendent, we can do some great things for kids, because that's what they deserve.
Well, that's another 30 years, so I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Carpenter, but okay, very good. Let me ask you a bit about an anniversary that is coming up that I know a lot of folks weighs heavy on, and I know you've put some thought to it, and certainly all of us are thinking about your students and staff and everyone affected by the events of last December 7th, and this is something that is coming up, and I know you want to make sure everyone understands kind of what the school district is planning for that day and the days around that day as it comes up.
Yeah, you know, we obviously the December 7th is coming up. It's hard to believe. You know, we can't change what happened, and I've said it before. We have full control how we go forward, and you know, Casey and Paco, part of their legacy is what we do with it. We're doing a lot of things around trying to improve school safety, whether it's legislatively, whether it's the Sandy Hook programs that we're putting in, and we're seeing those spread across the state. And we'd love to think we had something to do with that. And in my heart, I think we have, because we've exposed the state to some of whether it's the anonymous apps or the signs of suicide and those programs and the threat assessment programs, and just to say hello. But every time I get an email, you know, whether it's the most recent Los Alamos schools that are putting it in, and Albuquerque Public Schools, you know, as I talk about it, I get chills, because those are programs that are going to make our schools safer. And so,
and these are already showing some results, if I'm not mistaken, with the anonymous
Scott.
reporting tool,
Absolutely.
the apps and things. Even in Aztec schools, you're getting reports and able to respond, and
Yes.
And these things are really showing why they're so useful and so valuable.
So valuable. And to tell you they're saving lives is not something to make it more grand. It's a fact. So those things are happening, and it's going to happen. There's going to be some things, I think, legislatively on those. But aside from that, December 7th, that day is going to be a day of remembrance. It's going to be a day that we bring our first responders back. It's going to be a day that we bring parents in the morning. It's from 8 to about 9:30, a day that we're going to do a big art project where kids have a way of marking and doing something as a way to keep the light of Casey and Paco alive, and a day of teaching, because that's what we do. But the teaching will be a day that we're challenging our teachers to teach something that maybe they're passionate about. It'll be a shortened class period, about 38 minutes, but you know, if I'm a history teacher, but maybe I'm passionate about poetry that day, maybe that's what I'm doing. The theme of the whole day it's a different theme. It's walk up, step up, speak up. in the days that schools were walking out of school to protest, our kids walked up to a flagpole and embraced the idea of what change can we make. Acts of kindness. So the step up and be kind, and then the speak up, the ideas around Sandy Hook. I can't be more proud of a community and a community of kids. The resiliency that our kids have shown the community. You know, Aztec Strong is never going away. It's never going away. And I say that because we're more united, we're stronger. I say that many, many times. I'm not going to stop. But we're that way because of our county as well. So we can say Aztec Strong, but we also need to include San Juan County Strong, because this is what this county has done. And if there's ever a challenge I'm going to keep is we can't let it go away. We can't let the unitedness, the strength, the passion, the love, everything that the tragedy we can't take away. And the togetherness that's brought, that's a choice if we ever let that go away. And that's a personal choice. So, I mean, that would be a challenge I would give to everybody, is we never, ever can let that go away. Because we can't change the incident. And we can't let that Aztec Strong, the San Juan County Strong, all of that, that brought this whole community together like never before. And you hate to think that a tragedy has to do that, but it did. And so we just need to keep that together. And, you know, the remembrance of Casey and Paco, those two kids gave their lives, they're heroes, and we will pay remembrance. And then we're going to also do some other things for all the other kids. The kids that are coming up as freshmen, the kids that weren't here, but also those kids that were there, and the staff as well, and do our best to move forward on that day. And like I said, all the other families and first responders, and no textbook on this. And this is Aztec's way, and the student council, the administration, Dr. Hall and Anna Strauss, the student council sponsor, they're the ones responsible for this. We'll have plenty of people around to support them, right. Mental health specialists, and we're also going to have our four-legged friends. Can't say enough about the therapy dogs and what they've done, but
they can be very helpful.
Absolutely.
In these situations, I know. And I think it's important to remind folks about the other services that are available for not only your students, but your staff and anyone who may feel they need something as this anniversary date comes closer, because some folks may think that they're good and they've moved forward while still remembering Casey and Paco and moving along, but then the calendar will change, and that may trigger something that folks need to talk about.
Absolutely, and we will have everything available for whoever needs help. So if they need help, you know, they can call our central office, and because everybody's going to deal with it differently. Some are going to be there, some may not want to come.
Right.
And we are aware of that, because young and old are going to deal with it differently.
Sure, sure, of course.
And we understand that no one size fits all, and so we're trying to prepare for the best way we can. We've taken a very purposeful approach, and all of our colleagues from around the county are helping us. It's not just Aztec. So, you know, when we say Aztec Strong, that includes everybody around us. And again, just thank you to everybody, and God bless them, because I'll tell you, it's been quite a ride, and it's not over, and we know that. But we are absolutely moving forward. And,
sure.
And I mean it when I say stronger, more united, because that's who we are, and in this county and also over there in Aztec. But we're just balancing everything we can in the right way.
I was just going to say, it's a thoughtful balance, I think, of how you honor the memory of Casey and Paco and what happened on that date, but still, again, encouraging folks to move forward. There is still work to be done, whether it's security, whether it's studying in school and completing school and things like that. So it really is that delicate balancing act to make sure everyone knows what is expected.
Yeah, the art project is it's going to be the students and first responders' parents, like a thumbprint on a tree.
Nice.
And I'm not sure the semblance. I think the semblance more of it, like a tree grows, like we grow. As you heal, you grow, and you get stronger. And I think I'm putting that out there as my thought on this. I'm not sure the semblance. I think the artist has probably even a better idea of what that may mean. But in my mind, I think for maybe my healing, how I would express that, I think that's the way I would look at that. But it's movement forward, and we're not done. We're not done with our voice for change. We've had meetings with legislators. That's part of our speak up, students included. And when the session comes, there's things we're doing. And like I said, for Casey and Paco and their legacy, we're the voice, and we're going to see some changes. And I can assure you that this voice, it's hoarse today, but it'll be hoarse when the session comes, because we're going to be fighting for a lot of changes. And I know that'll be a topic we can have another day, but we're going to be making some changes for the right reasons for our kids across this state, not just here in this county, but we owe that to our two heroes. And so a lot of that will be talked about on another day, but December 7th is going to come, and we will get through that day. And there's a lot of other celebrations around that, so that day as well in the community. And I'll probably get those to you in an email, and you can probably share those.
Glad to.
It's going to be a good day, and we're going to balance all the right things for all the right reasons and for the right people.
Very good. Kirk Carpenter is my guest this morning, Superintendent of Schools with the Aztec School District. Mr. Carpenter, we're out of time. But in this season of giving thanks, I know there's a lot of folks, including myself, who's very thankful for you and your leadership through this whole period. And I know you've heard that before, but I think it bears repeating, especially this week. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And in the spirit of being thankful, it's thankful to all the people. I'm like the grand one thank you, but this county, everybody, we thank them, and God bless them. And God bless our Aztec Tigers, but I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. And thank you, Scott, for what you do. You do a ton for the county, and thank you for allowing us to come here and share a lot of the good things and share our thoughts about schools and just school in general. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Same to you, and thank you very much. It's always a great pleasure to have a conversation with you and folks from Aztec Schools every month here with KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time right now is coming up on 8:51.